A while back, I wrote this post on Facebook. You are just saying that because you can never be fair. This was the response I got at 15 years old when I told my friend that I do not wish to be light-skinned and I love my dark skin the way it is. It stung a bit at the time, but her comment wasn't surprising considering it was very rare for a dark-skinned girl to declare her love for her skin in our very own, very brown community. Perhaps my refusal to view my dark skin as something lesser and undesirable challenged her on perceived superiority of having a lighter complexion. Growing up, I would always hear comments like Baba Sudu, the number one concern of brown aunties whenever a baby is born in Sri Lanka. Lassana Sudu Babek, Karat Kanna Sudu Venama. Don't go out in the sun, you will get dark. She's so fair and pretty. She's pretty but dark, which all seemingly shared a common theme, that fair, i.e. being white or close to that as possible, equates beauty. While I never viewed my darker complexion as something undesirable, thanks to my family, especially my mother who always used to highlight how beautiful my skin was, it was impossible to be completely shielded from colorist ideologies. Extended family would compare me to my sisters who had lighter complexions, and I would often find myself at family gatherings in the company of an auntie or an archie being an unwilling participant to a conversation centered around how dark I used to be and how much light I have become. Seemingly a praise that I am expected to say thank you for. Ever since I became very open and vocal about colorism and skin biases, it's no surprise that one of the first and the commonest comment I get is, "You're not even that dark," said with no malicious intentions and more so as a compliment. However, my personal favorite remains to be, "Why do you edit your pictures to look so white if you love your dark skin so much?" Which was thrown at me somewhat aggressively in the midst of a casual conversation about skin tone biases over a lunch out with friends. I was momentarily rendered speechless as the weight of those words sunk in. As someone who had never intentionally edited any of my pictures to be lighter, this came as quite a shock to me. Is that what people think? Do I look white in my pictures? I was often told I look pretty in my pictures, which was almost always followed by a comment about just how photogenic I was. Having absolutely no control over how my skin tone appeared in different lighting conditions, and having never paid attention to my skin tone in pictures, I've been doing very little as far as appearing dark enough in my pictures. This somehow seemed to have translated into a very hurtful and astonishing assumption of wanting to look lighter. There's been plenty of times I found myself in the middle of posing for a group picture that gets interrupted by someone wanting to change locations or switch positions so as to not look as dark. It isn't uncommon to hear a girl ask a photographer to make her look lighter or wear a foundation shade 6 times lighter than her natural complexion. This should come as no surprise living in a country where the matrimony section screams for a Pahapat Bodu Govidianiak to wed their very fair and handsome engineer son, while also never being able to escape one of those very creative, fair and lovely commercials. With a plotline that always revolves around a very unhappy dark-skinned girl discovering a skin lightening cream that makes her 10 shades lighter, apparent by the sequence of her progressively lightening and also happier looking face on the TV screen. The smile was always the widest when she was the lightest. After becoming light, she would achieve all that her heart desired, which was always either a man or her dream job. This company that made millions of dollars by selling a bleaching cream has since renamed their brand as Glow and Lovely, following the criticism they received back in July last year. The term colorism wasn't coined until 1983 by Alice Walker as prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people with the same ethnic or racial group. The key words being the same ethnic or racial groups opposed to racism. However, the roots of colorism lies deep within racism and colonialism. Colorism in South Asia can be attributed to the now abolished system of caste and British colonial rule. The British began to systematically oppress South Asians at different levels while strategically placing value on lighter skin, so as to provide the illusion of power for higher class South Asians who were just as powerless in the eyes of British as their lower caste counterparts. The recent resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement sparked a worldwide conversation about skin color biases and internalized racism within communities of color. How can we speak against racism when our own society views individuals with lighter complexions as more desirable in every aspect? Marriage, beauty industry, film industry, sadly at the expense of a darker skinned individual. Skin lightening products remain to be a multi-million-dollar industry in the South Asian region and continues to be endorsed by high-profile celebrities. Change starts within ourselves. Unless we genuinely acknowledge and challenge our own internalized prejudices and harmful ideologies that we've been conditioned to accept, we can never achieve true equality and justice to humans of all races, colors, faiths, and sexual orientations. I've been speaking up against skin tone biases ever since I was like 16 or 15, I think. And I'm sharing this with you guys right now because I think it's time we started this conversation here in Sri Lanka.